Hi everyone, no, Mark hasn't bought me flowers. He's not a flower buying kind of guy. I'm making a video in collaboration with Claire's Crafty Corners Valentine's Day collaboration. So I thought I'd have a go at some nice big flowers and a jolly big heart. Want to join me? Let's do this thing. So we've got this really big heart mould. I've got some really nice artificial flowers. I think those look amazing. And we've got some resin. I've got some little bit of a pinky coloured glitter, and I've got my resin as airless. As I've said before, I very rarely use this, but when I'm doing something big and chunky like this, I want to make sure that there's absolutely no bubbles in it, so I'm not taking any risks. So I do have it to my side at the ready. If anybody wants to see what these are, I'll put you a link to a video about them. But basically it's a little vacuum chamber. You probably know Claire organises a collaboration event where lots of different crafters join in and post up their videos. She puts it all into a big playlist, and she does this several times a year for major events. So this is my contribution towards that event, and when you finish watching this video I will put you a link to the playlist up on screen as well, and also down in the video description below. So do go and watch the rest of them, because there'll be lots of artists joining in and crafters, and there's always such a variety. It's wonderful to watch, so I would encourage you to go and have a look. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up in layers a heart full of these lovely roses. They are just silk roses, but I thought they just looked so crumpled and imperfect that they just look like dried flowers. I think they're amazing. Got leaves as well, and we're going to put them in this heart mould. Now this heart mould is really intended for baking, so it's not the shiniest mould I've ever seen, so I've just got my fingers crossed that it will be shiny enough. Now I could use a deep pour resin for this, however I've gone for my normal Apex high gloss resin, which is more for shallow to medium depth pours, and the reason I've done that is I think it'll be quicker. Deeper cast resins take 2 to 3 days to cure. I'm hoping I can get this done in sort of like a day and a half at most, so that's why I've gone for this one. And also I've got the end of the bottles of it that I want to finish off, so I can chuck the bottles away and start on a new bottle. You can see I'll put the first layer in already. I will be running it through my airless machine each time. This resin does degas very, very well anyway. I don't usually have any sort of problem with bubbles with it. However, when I'm doing a big chunky build, no matter which resin I've used, I do run it through my resin as airless machine, just in case. And if anybody hasn't seen one of these, let me just unplug it, because this is it. So it's basically a vacuum chamber. Sorry, I can't really get far away from the camera, can I? It's a little baby vacuum chamber, and it's just the job for small craft rooms. Anybody who doesn't want to go quite the whole hog and get a big industrial size vacuum chamber. It's a cracking little thing. Obviously you don't have to have one of those, and most sensible people will be using a deep pour resin, which is less viscous and debubbles easier anyway. But that's what I'm going to be doing. It's just to be on the safe side. Just belt and braces, really want to make sure that there are no bubbles in this at all. I'll probably get some trapped in the flowers. That's going to be difficult to avoid. However, I think they might end up just looking like raindrops on the petals, so that'd be quite nice. So I'm going to be back in probably a couple of hours. Just give this time to thicken up a bit. This resin is a, say it's a medium one. It takes normally around, it's meant to be about 20 hours to fully harden. I usually find I can demould it before that, and so I'm hoping that in 3 or 4 hours maybe, it's quite warm in here actually, so it might be quicker, that will be thick and gloopy, so I can put my flowers in without them just sinking and going straight against the silicone. That's the plan, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry if it's a bit noisy, that's the airless running, and it's a bit near to my microphone, isn't it? Okay, I'll try this again when that's not running. Okay, I've got my first pot out of the airless, and I don't think I ran it through long enough really. Anyway, we'll come back to it because I'm going to end up putting several lots through anyway. Now I think what I'm going to do, this has gone a little bit sticky now. It's still pretty runny, but I think it'll be okay. Now I've got to decide which side I think is the front. It's been squashed a little bit in transit. So will it be this side or will it be this side? I'm going to try and lie it so as it's, yeah, as you can see it's still quite gloopy in there. I'm going to try and lie it so it's facing down a little bit, because that obviously will be the front. So I'm going to get all these in here This is also a bit of an experiment really, to see whether not using a deep pour resin is a good idea or not, aside from the cure time and the fact that it won't flash cure. So I've got those in. I'm going to put down the sides like this our little leaves. I think these are great for not too expensive artificial flowers, because what I'm going to do when I put the back layer on is kind of stick these down rather. I think we'll do a bit of trimming just while I can. Let's take that little bit off because that wants to stick out, doesn't it? There we are. And the leaves should get weighed down with the resin, but I'll try to make sure that they do. I've got to curl them down a little bit. Yeah, right. So I'm going in with this pot and I am going to pour it straight over the top of these. So start that weighing down process really and see where they want to go. And also this will give this one a bigger surface area because, as I said, I didn't leave it in the airless machine for long enough, so, and because I stir too fast there are a few bubbles in it. They probably will clear on their own. It's what normally happens with this resin. But you know, I'd rather just let it have another go through for the next run. Okay, so what should happen now is that there'll be a very, very thin layer, because these will settle down into that first layer of resin. I didn't leave it until it was really, really, really gloopy, as you could see. So they will settle down, but there will be a little bit between them and the silicone. I'll probably end up top coating it anyway, as I said. Anyway, I'm going to run another batch through the airless in about an hour's time, couple of hours maybe. Because this was only an hour and it was starting to go gloopy. It is quite warm in here. So I shall, yeah, just keep topping it up. I'm going to put another lot in now, I think. There is a little pot still in the airless, a small amount. So I'll put that in a second. And then, yeah, I'll come up and put like 2 little cups. Don't forget you can't fill your cup. So actually what will go in on this round is 1 full cup. But I mixed it and then split it between 2 cups, because if you fill your cup, when you run a vacuum chamber, everything froths up and it'll all go over the top and make a total mess, which obviously I didn't want. So I split it into 2 cups. So I'll put the other cup in. I'll do exactly the same. I'll just drizzle it over the top. And then, as I said, we'll leave it a little while. As soon as this starts to thicken up, then I will come and tip in some more. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to turn out because it's only been a couple of hours. This is actually flash cured. I thought I would get away with it. I haven't. So I'm going to do the back coat. We'll see what we end up with. Right, let's get some more resin mixed up. So, feeling a bit deflated here. As it has flash cured, I mean, I can feel the heat coming off that. I was wrong. I'm not going to be quite so precious about making sure I get the bubbles out of this. I'm going to put the tiniest little sprinkle, at least I'm going to try to make it, oops, that'll do, of the glitter in. It's more than I intended, but never mind. Kind of gone past caring now, you know. Just to give it a bit of a sparkle at the back, but I'm not going to bother putting this through the airless. It's got bubbles at this stage. But this is still really hot, so I bet this will flash cure as well. But we'll see what we end up with. And I am going to have another go using the correct resin. I'm also going to lift this onto my levelling table because I know the table that I'm working on isn't quite level. I have got another levelling table on its way from Let's Resin. Thank you very much, the guys at Let's Resin, for doing that. So I can have 2 levelling tables on the go side by side, which will be really good for bigger projects. Okay, right, time to start crossing fingers and everything else that this works out. We shall soon see. Maybe there was still too much heat in the resin below it. I don't know, but I have got bubbles and things. Having said that, if the rest's okay, I can just sand that off. But let's see what the rest looks like. I have ended up with lines in it. Oh, though they're only slight. And I didn't get many bubbles. Oh, that's nice. That is so nice. I thought because of that flash cure that it'd cause bubbles. Now my only thing I don't like about that is it's not shiny. I wonder if I can sand it. Yeah, it was weird. This layer was the one that flash cured. Look, we've got bubbles. Yeah. Because it wasn't intended for resin, the finish on it's not great. Now I'm going to end up keeping this, so actually I'm not going to worry about the back. I'll just put some feet on it and ignore that, I think. But the rest of it just wants a very, very fine wet and dry run over it. And then top coating. I hate top coating as well. Maybe I can just polish it. We'll see. I mean, this mould was actually intended for cake baking, so I'm not surprised. However, I think it's good enough to call it a wrap on the video. So, if you have enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up. What it's leaving me to do really is give it a light sand and polish, and we're done. I'm going to be keeping this one anyway, so I'm not too worried if there are some little imperfections. Obviously, please do have a look at the rest of the playlists. Claire's Crafty Corner organises these for us. You'll have a whole playlist to keep you happy with some amazing crafters all doing various Valentine's Day themed things. So I'll put you the link up here. Happy crafting everyone, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.